Hey everybody, Bob Haskins here. Let's get ready for another 2-minute motivational drill. This week we are talking about the characteristics of being a good leader and the fact that all of us are leaders, regardless if we run a major company or if we are just even at home with kids. We have our influence all over the place. Now, as we've talked about this week, character is not something you do. Rather, character is something that you are. And this week so far we've talked about honesty and we've talked about generosity. Today I want to talk about humility. Now when some people think of humility, they actually think humility is a weakness. It shows that you are not strong. However, if you flip it over, the opposite of humility is not strength, rather it is pride. And I would make the argument that people who are humble or show humility are actually stronger than the ones who don't and are very prideful. President John F. Kennedy, when he was in the Oval Office, had a little plaque next to his desk. And that plaque read, "O God, thy sea is so great, and my boat is so small." Now, when you think about it, this is the most important man in the world, realizing exactly how small he is compared to the office and the responsibilities that he had. So, when we're talking about humility, there are several aspects I want to reach out to. The first one is people who have humility or humble people are teachable. Now, this goes back to a story. When I was first dating Danielle, she introduced me to a word, and that word was Mungry. Mungry. So basically you get the M from mean and the ungry from hungry and you smush them together. So Mungry basically meant that at this point she was incapable of making a decision because she was starting to get hungry, as well as the fact that as the hungrier that she got, the meaner that she would get to the people around her, specifically me. Now, as she was explaining this, she was actually going through the levels of Mungry. And level 1 was just kind of a notification of, you know what, I'm starting to feel a little Mungry, which means I'm starting to get a little hungry. Maybe we should look for a spot for me to get some food in the next little bit. Great. And her mean level was, yeah, it was okay, but it was still manageable. But then if we got to level 2, that's when the meanness would start to come out. And she would start to growl and be grunchy and really come after me and be grouchy. And I would ask her, are we at level 2 yet? And she's like, yeah, we're at level 2 of Mungry. And that basically meant that, boy, I would have to go and we better find food in the next, under 5 minutes, or else we were going to hit stage 3. And stage 3 was the worst. Thankfully, I've only seen it twice in the 15 years that we've been together. But stage 3 is ugly. At this point, Danny doesn't care who's around her or who's in the car or anything. She's just lashing out right and left. And basically what that meant is if I'm driving the car at this time, I better stop over at the next corner, even if it's a drugstore, and go or get her food. Because otherwise, she has completely lost it. And also, I'm the one who has to go get her food because she doesn't even trust herself on how she might interact with the store clerk. So, I've learned that. I've been teachable in that by not thinking, hey, I can figure this out and we can make it. But the fact that, okay, my wife has 3 levels of Mungry. The next aspect that we want to talk about is knowing that everyone has a weakness. Part of humility is knowing what your weakness is. But not only knowing what it is, admitting what that weakness is. Stating that, I have a problem with this, or I need people to help me with that specific type of thing. Knowing and admitting you have a weakness is a large part of humility. The other part is you don't turn it around as a weapon to somebody else. Oh, I know you have this weakness, so I can get them there. No, what you do with humility is you recognize your own weakness as well as the weaknesses of others. The third part is you need to be adaptable. Andy Stanley has a great quote who basically says, I know that a lot of people have a lot of plans for their lives, but you know what? Very few have plans to mess up. Man, I thought that was really impactful because everyone has plans and when we set out the plans are for everything to go right. But really, people don't have the ability to be adaptable, to use that part of humility saying, you know what, this is not going right anymore. We have to change course because we don't plan to have things go wrong. So here's the drill. When we discuss humility, please remember that humility actually is a strength. It is not a weakness. And as a leader, feel free to express humility to others. I think you'll find that almost vulnerability even brings them in closer. And as you are being humble or using humility, remember to be teachable, to be adaptable, and that everyone, including yourself, has a weakness. So this is Bob Paskins for the 2-Minute Motivational Drill, encouraging you to engage in life, to let your light shine, and to be a champ. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.